And we are live. Welcome back to the Pistons Jack subscriber-only stream. This is live stream number 10, our 9th of the off-season so far. We are entering. It is the 2nd of August for me, so I assume even if you're in the US, it's the 1st of August. It's officially the dog days of the NBA off-season, but we actually have a very loaded show today. I've got Prince and Tom, who are both going to join me. We're going to have a great discussion, but we've got 4 or 5 topics here to go through, which I'm excited to talk about. If you're in the chat, appreciate you joining. Devin, my man, glad you got that bobblehead, that Chauncey Billups bobblehead. It finally arrived for you, my friend. We've got Doug in the chat here. Doug, we'll go through your question as we discuss the Malik Beasley subject off the top. But like I said, we're going to talk about some recent commentary surrounding Malik Beasley and his return to the NBA and maybe the Pistons. We've actually got the Pistons preseason schedule. We've got a couple of games that are locked in. We'll quickly go through that. Cade Cunningham, where his ranking from NBA.com is in the East. I think this will be a fun discussion. I think we'll all disagree with where his ranking is. And then Zach Lowe had some very interesting comments on Ausar Thompson and how he's one of the NBA's most intriguing players. And we'll talk about some of the other intriguing players on our Pistons. Then we're going to wrap it up with ESPN's off-season grade for our favorite team. So I got some feedback from the Pistons Jack sub chat over on Instagram. If you would like to join, go over to my Instagram, hit that subscription button, and you can jump in the group chat and join this stream and some of the other fun things we have going on. But we were discussing it in the group chat on what grade we'll give the Pistons off season. So we'll dive a little bit into that. And I'd love to hear people in the chats grade for the Pistons off season. But let's get into it. I'm going to bring up Prince and Tom, and we are going to dive straight into these Malik Beasley comments. But Prince, Tom, how are we feeling?
How are we doing? Tom, how are you?
Tom, can you talk? Are you still? Were you drinking?
Yeah.
Do I pronounce it soju?
Yeah, this water. Yeah, I drank soju last night. Man, the hangover is like real.
I must admit, I did. So Prince, obviously, I could see you were going to join the stream today, and then Tom messaged me yesterday and said, "I'm not sure I can join. I'm going to be going out tonight." Then we're just talking about Korean alcohol for a little bit. So Tom, I did not expect you to be on this stream, but I'm very happy I've got both of you on. Because Tom, I think so for me, it's currently 10:09 a.m. Is it 8 o'clock?
9:09. 9:09.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you've had a decent sleep.
10:09 there, right? It's an hour difference,
Yes.
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I'm very happy to have you on. This will be fun. We've got hungover Tom with us, so we might get some funny takes here. But let's get into it. So, there's been some commentary around Malik Beasley in the past few days. Earlier in the week, he posted a couple of Instagram stories, which I assume were in relation to people talking about the investigation surrounding him and his career. Yeah, the first Instagram story said, "Never needed your opinion." And then it followed up with, "Best believe I'm coming back better than ever." So then following that, yesterday on Patrick Beverley's podcast, I think it's called just the Pat Bev pod, he, I believe, ran into Malik. And this is a quote from Pat Bev. He said, "Malik was in good spirits. I was able to chop it up with him. He's confident. He seems like he's going to be on the roster next season." And obviously, like, just my very, very brief thoughts, and I'm keen to hear what you guys think. Like, I'm not surprised at all to hear Malik's like confident he'll be back. Like, when you're in a situation like that, of course, you're going to be positive, and that's the way you have to be. I think the bit that stood out to me here was from Pat Bev saying he's confident. He seems like he's going to be on the roster next season. The way I interpreted that is that he means the Pistons roster. And Detroit, obviously, we still only have 13 players signed to the main roster. So before the regular season starts, and I think before training camp, you have to have at least 14 players. You can go into the season with only 14 like they did last season. So I know this is still all doesn't mean really anything that he's going to be a Piston, but like just your initial reactions to those comments.
I got Malik Beasley for federal prison MVP. I think I'm sorry, guys. I just think I don't think our GM is that vice president of basketball operations is the type of person to take him after everything that he's been through this offseason and put him on our roster. Now, I'm not saying if he does beat all these allegations, I'm not saying that he won't get onto a NBA roster. But right now, I feel like I would love for us to sign him to a minimum because after his shooting last year, I definitely want him back. But even still, I feel like it's probably not going to be the Pistons.
I think
Yeah,
that's very fair. Yeah.
yeah, same. But I still have my alerts on, notifications on for any Malik Beasley stories or posts. So I always comment. I don't know, like if it was a member from a different team from the past, like for a random year, 2020 or whatever, I wouldn't have been this, emotionally invested in him. But last season, he was like part of my favorite team ever. So like, I don't know, I
Yeah.
kind of want him back. I know he's probably done what he's been accused of doing, but I don't know. Like, I'm a bad person. I want him back.
Well, I mean, but like, that's where I wanted to take this conversation because, like, obviously, like, we have no idea really about the investigation. There was that Pablo Torres podcast, which is really insightful, and to be honest, it didn't look good for Malik seeing that, but he is still innocent until proven guilty. So,
Right.
I guess like the way I would like to talk about this is let's just presume that, let's say miraculously, honestly, he's cleared in September of this. I know that's unlikely, but if the Pistons still only have 13 players or they have a roster spot, like say they add him just for a similar deal like last year, 1 year, $5-6 million, like just with how the roster looks right now and the players we have, how would you feel about that?
I feel like I definitely want to sign him to a minimum. And if everything goes well with everything that he has with the federal government, I definitely think that if we can sign him to a minimum, like 4, 5, 6 million, like you said, for 1 year, because if anything, not only will this prove that is he still a good role player for our team, or will he get lower and lower and we don't have to sign him next year? I could understand that, and I like that idea.
Man, if we can get him, yeah, of course, yeah, we should. Like, he's still repping Pistons gear in his like workout videos. Jalen Duran just commented on this post yesterday. He was like, "That looks like my fit" or something. He was wearing a big shirt, and JD was like,
Yeah.
"That looks like my fit." So yeah, if he still comes back, that's gonna be amazing. If he is proven innocent, so I would love that. Like, I love Malik. He's such a
Yeah.
easygoing guy. Yeah.
I
And
think
where
a
are
lot
you,
of people.
Jack? Are you
So
are you in your normal setup?
so I'm not, no. That's why I haven't had many videos out on the YouTube the past couple of days. I'm actually down at the beach. Like,
Yeah, I saw
so
your
this is
video.
definitely not, yeah. So we came down here on Thursday. So I don't have my usual setup. The lighting's not as good. It's okay on this stream, but yeah, I'm just here until tomorrow. I have a family thing down here. So
Was this what you were talking about, Tom?
That
Here he is
t-shirt.
over here with the Pistons workout on.
What the?
Dude, Malik constantly pushing people with Snapchat is hilarious. But
No, his Snapchat.
I
is
just wanted to
hilarious.
shout out Devon. Hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate you jumping on. But
Yes,
I
sir.
guess my thoughts on this are, it's tricky. Like, obviously, if he's cleared, which I think unfortunately, this process is going to go into whenever the season starts. Like, I think Terry Rozier, I think people thought he was cleared, but he was only cleared of the NBA investigation. The feds are still looking into him. So it just seems like this is going to drag on. But say he was cleared, I mean, he's obviously got a very big investment in the Pistons. He loved playing here. It's hard to be like, I wouldn't want him back, especially if he's cleared, like with how well he played last season, how crucial he was. It does make me think now, like, during the actual playoffs where he struggled, and I think Malik in the past has struggled in the playoffs, but you have to wonder like how much at that point did he know this was potentially coming out? Obviously, the Pistons didn't know that this thing was bubbling away under the surface, but maybe that was a reason for him performing the way he did. But like, it would be hard to like I think Doug says here, why not if he's clear of the charges? He was a weapon defenses have to account for, and he fits with the team. The question is, what would be the salary impact, of course? And I think we've kind of discussed that. Like, I think it would be a minimum wherever he signs, especially unless he was completely cleared, maybe more. But I think with where a lot of teams have spent their money now, I can't imagine him getting a mid-level or anything more than like 5 or 6 million. So it's really interesting. I think it's probably unlikely he's cleared before the regular season, but like you said, Tom, like he was a part of, for so many of us, our favorite Pistons team of all time. So he did help change the culture and the vibe. So it would be a cool story for him to come back and bounce back from this saga. I did see him just before we jumped on I think he's in Amsterdam doing a food review of McDonald's. So he just
It's clear that he's not worried, you know.
Yeah, he seems to be chilling. So, but any other thoughts on Malik before we move on here? We covered it.
Like Tom said, he was probably the greatest piston shooter of my life to date. And if anything, I hope I get to see him next year because I feel like he'd be a big role player for our team, especially when it comes if we do make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, I would love it back. Just for the vibes.
Just for the vibes.
Yeah, no.
We need our vibes guy, man.
Who is our vibes guy now? Yeah.
I feel like probably one of the young guys, like Jalen Duren.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah,
JD, or it could also be Levert. You know, like Levert, when he was with the Brooklyn Nets, that was the D'Lo first stint Brooklyn Nets days. Their bench was hilarious. Like, they would dance all the time. I mean, it was really famous back then, like how they were doing dances back on the celebrations in the bench.
There's one really iconic video where they're like almost like shuffling like along the base, like the bench. That was against the Pistons. And I remember against the Pistons, and I remember hating them so much for that. But they were a vibe.
Yes.
It actually was. I remember the game. It's because like it was in 2019 and both teams were like trying to make the playoffs, the Pistons and Nets. And we needed to win that game. And they just came out and cooked. Who would have we had on the floor? Reggie, Andre. I think we're wearing those ugly ass gray jerseys as well, which made
2019, D Rose, Blake Griffin, all of them.
Yeah.
You know, like speaking of jerseys, we had got the Pepsi ones back, right? So I commented on your post, no Pepsis, and I saw someone from the Pistons like team comment like, people don't know how much effort goes into this. So I deleted my comment.
No, shout out to Justin Wingett. So me and Justin were talking. Yes. So Justin's in charge of like all of creative, all of the graphic design, brand, like that type of stuff for the Pistons. Really good guy. He's quite funny actually. So his comment made me laugh. I think he said keyboard warriors, but I'm just trying to find our DMs because he explained it to me, and I was actually going to maybe record an episode with him just about this to explain it to the fans, but I'm just going to bring up my DMs.
It's probably like they did some like contract like beforehand, like a year's back, so they can change it.
So I think Nike as well, mate, it's a big process with Nike because they obviously manufacture all the jerseys. And then to get approval, man, why are my DMs loading? This is really annoying. Anyway, it's a very big process. Yeah. But the stream's okay, I think. I don't know why my DMs aren't. But anyway, it's a very hard process. And he was just saying as well to get the entire organization aligned on like a brand change. It's just a big process. Like I think I'm trying to think how many, I think there's over 300 employees for the Pistons. Like, and that's just, I don't think that includes staff that work part-time at like the arena and stuff. So trying to get approval on that type of stuff, I think is very difficult because it's like there's so many age ranges that work there. Like you have your older people who like the traditional, then there's a younger generation, that people like us who are more like we love the teal, but then there's, do you know what I mean? It's just very hard to get things passed through. So
Yeah. And
it's not an easy process.
I just looked on my Instagram and I found out Justin Wingate isn't only for the Detroit Pistons, but also for the Ohio State University.
Yeah,
I still
Ohio.
respect him. I still respect him, but still, those Ohio State jerseys, I do like those black jerseys. Even as a Michigan fan, those Ohio State black jerseys are so hard. But the Pepsi Max jerseys, I've never really hated them. I loved when they came out, and at the same time, I feel like I wanted another statement jersey this year, but I can do one more year with the Pepsi Max jerseys. Like the way that they give out that statement, the statement jersey, I just love it. I love it.
Yeah, I just want a red jersey back. That's all I want.
Yeah,
is that what you're going to say?
Yes.
No.
Yes, but honestly, just any. Like, as long as we have, it can be a new variation. I would love that one back that you're talking about, Tom, from Cade's rookie season. But even like the one from the 2000s, I think there's like, just bring that back. Like, I would love a red variation because I just think like red is it's not even my favorite color, red, but I think it is just the coolest. If you have it in your color palette, like, you should have a jersey that's all red to me. It pops so much.
I also found out that they use those red jerseys for Puerto Rico game, and I don't see why we can't have a Pistons red jersey for the Mexico City game. I feel like that would be really cool. Just seeing them in a red
it's a great
Pistons jersey. Yes, I would love to see that.
I love it. Oh, look, we've got some jersey talking. Let's quickly jump to. Did you have any final thoughts, Tom? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess the Pepsi jerseys. I think the reason fans don't really like them is our record. I think with the it kind of reminds us of the losing seasons, and especially last season. I think we had a losing record with the Pepsi jersey, so I think that's the reason.
Only jersey with the losing record. Yeah, you're correct. Shout out to Pistons Uniform Tracker on Twitter. That account has us updated. But we'll quickly dive into here. We've had some preseason games announced. I think I want to shout out Pistons Talk. He posted this on Twitter. I think the opposing teams have posted this. The Pistons officially haven't released anything. But we do have 2 preseason games. So October 6th, Detroit play in Memphis. And then October 14th, Detroit play in Cleveland. I assume the Pistons will release the 2 home games that they'll have in the preseason. From memory, you normally play 4 or 5 maximum preseason games. But I guess the question I want to ask you two is maybe 1, what are you most excited for to see in the preseason? And then 2, who do you think, which player on the roster, like, could benefit the most from a good preseason? Like, is it Bobby Clintman? Is it Chaz Lanier? Or is it Ron? Like, maybe we'll go to you first, Prince, and then I'll give my thoughts after.
I think Chaz Lanier will definitely get some experience from the preseason. I know he didn't have the best, summer league, but if anything, if he can get that leadership from our actual guys in the preseason and he can actually experiment his shooting, I would love to see that from him. And and I also want to see Ron more as a leader because I'm sure first preseason game, not everybody's going to play, but I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I like that. Like those picks. Tom?
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were going next. So, what I'm excited to watch is the rotation that JB's gonna pull out there, because probably we're gonna start with Cade, Jaden, Ausar, Tobias, and Duran. But I want to see how his rotations look like. Who's gonna come off bench first? Is it gonna be Levert? Is it gonna be Duncan? Is it gonna be Stu? Or is it gonna be all of them at the same time? Like, I want to see the rotations, because at least at least for the first half, they're probably gonna use the rotation they're planning on using for the regular season. So that's what I'm most excited about to watch, the rotations.
I love it. And shout out to Ashton, who's in the chat here while they sleep. What's going on, brother? I see all the work you're doing out there. Appreciate you joining.
Unblock me on Twitter.
And thank you to everyone in the chat, guys. We've got a fair few watching today. I will get to the comments. We're just talking. I could say talking this shit up here. So I'll get to that though. But Sorry, Tom, I kind of cut you off there with that comment, but I just saw it come up. But I love what you said about the rotation. I think it's going to be very interesting. I do love, like, because I've been so guilty of this in previous off seasons, like how are the minutes going to work? Like, who's going to play this position? And it's it's like a funny conversation and an interesting one to have all off season, whether it's on Twitter or just with anyone in the Pistons community. But then it comes to the first game of preseason, you're like, oh yeah, it's all good. So like, but it's going to be very interesting. Like, I think we all are in agreement on like the starting lineup, like in Cade, Ivey, Ausar, Tobias, and obviously JD. I could maybe see them bringing Ivey off the bench early just to like, because I don't know if we've heard if he's doing like full 5-on-5 stuff yet. I'm not worried about it, but I could see maybe they could ease him back into the season. But I think like by the end of the year, that'll be the starting lineup. But it'll be interesting to see he's playing those backup 4 minutes. But I love that one. I think the player for me to watch is it's either probably Chaz or Bobby. Like, I think I don't want to say disappointing. I think that's too harsh. But I think like Chaz was just kind of like decent at Summer League. It almost felt like in that 5th Summer League game, he got off to an awesome start and then they obviously only played a half. So I was feeling like maybe that was going to be his game where he, knocks down 5 threes and scores over 20, but he just didn't really have that performance. Then Bobby, obviously, I think a lot of fans were a little bit down on his Summer League, but if either of them are going to get consistent minutes at the back end of the rotation, like have a chance at that, I think preseason's their opportunity to show they can be a part of that rotation in some sense. So,
right.
And I think what you said, Prince, as well about Ron Holland, like, I think we all were like, he was one of the best players at Summer League. I know he surprised me, like with how good he looked. So can he carry that over just into the preseason and then obviously into the regular season? That's something I'm excited to watch too, because the starters, Cade and all that, like I'm very excited to see Ivey back out on the floor, but I'm still like, I think his role's pretty defined.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see the dog pound.
Yeah. Well, have we all seen Stu? Stu's working on defensive slides.
No, I saw him working on his 3. I saw that.
Yeah, he's working on 3. No, I love it, but I've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years, so maybe you guys have. I've never seen someone post themselves videos of them working out on their defensive slides full court. Like this guy is like, I'm like crazy. Like, I love it.
Charge up 3 is the best thing ever. Like every time he's playing, and it's like he charges up his 3, takes him like 3 seconds to actually shoot. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love his charge up 3.
Well, he said today on his story, for those he's been posting like one a day, or his trainer has. He said today something like, "Oh, Tom, do you remember it? You're normally good at this stuff." I'm bringing it up. He said it never left my side in that mode, referencing his 3. So maybe I took that as, because I think last season the 3 ball, I think it was from the coaches. They said, no, we want you inside. But sounds like maybe there's going to be more Stu out on the 3-point line this season. And he did start to shoot them a little bit towards the end of the season. But I think like we all want to see him shooting 3s because that just makes him even more lethal.
Yeah, like the back and 4 position is very open for us. So maybe Stu can absorb some minutes at the 4 position, he's going to play enough minutes for him to be eligible for all defensive teams, which I really think he deserves, because I think he's like the best big man in switches out there. Like maybe Wemby's up there, obviously, but like his defensive slides, that's really a strength of his.
He's got crazy, like he's got crazy like lateral speed. I feel like, especially for someone that size. Like, and I think he's honestly like Wemby's in a tier of his own. Maybe Gobert's in a tier of his own below Wemby. Say what you want about Rudy, but like his team's defense is always really good. I'm like, I'm biased, but it's like, who else is better than Stu defending at the 5? I'm
It's
sure I'm
probably
missing
him
someone,
and
by the way.
it's probably him and Bam Adebayo. Like they're very similar
Oh,
type
yeah,
of defensive
yeah.
big men. Yeah,
That's
it's probably
fair.
him.
Bam probably does it to start his minutes. But I really don't think he's that far off. Like, you
I
watch,
think he's
like,
better than Bam. Like I'm biased, but I think he's
he
better than
might
Bam.
be.
Yeah.
I think,
And
like,
in the
last
open
season
floor,
he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
in the open
And
floor, he's better than Gobert for me. Like,
yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just that good.
The only reason I just give them the slight edge, and it's not even fair to Stu, is because they do it in starters minutes. Like, they play like Stu only was doing it for 20 to 24 minutes. And I'm not like trying to take anything away from him, but I think when you play longer minutes, it's like harder. So I
Correct.
think Stu could probably do it, but I'm with you, Tom. Like last season in particular, like Stu even got better as an actual rim protector, I thought. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yes,
even
he
think he
did.
could. Exactly, Prince. Yeah, he was. So he's out there working on his defensive slides. So he's going to come back and no one's scoring on him next season. But let's move on here, guys. We're going to get to a bit of a fun topic. I'm excited to hear your responses to this. So NBA.com, yes. NBA.com yesterday released their top 10 players in the Eastern Conference. And I'm just going to read them out to you. Number 1 was Giannis. Number 2, Jalen Brunson. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. Number 4 was Paolo Banchero. Number 5 was our man, Cade Cunningham. 6, Embiid. 7, Mobley. 8, Jaylen Brown. 9, Karl-Anthony Towns. And 10, Trae Young. Where do you think Cade should be ranked? And
Over
who is
Paolo
he above?
Banchero? Over Paolo Banchero? Like what? They put Paolo Banchero over Cade Cunningham after the jump that he had last year. Yeah, they're rigged. They're geeking. They're geeking. They're like Tom. They're like Tom. Like they clearly are not doing right. They're clearly not doing something right. When Tom is posting those Detroit basketball, same energy they're on right now. It's like, how could you
No,
put
because that's good
Paolo
energy.
Banchero over Cade Cunningham? That's actually crazy.
You know,
So-
in the post, like comments with the most likes are regarding Cade, I believe. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to make the case for why they have Paolo above Cade. I don't agree with this, but I'm trying to like play devil's advocate because I know you two are going to be very much pro Cade. The only reason I can think they have him above him is because he's been to the playoffs twice. He has been an all-star like Cade. I think he had like a 40-point game in the playoffs. He took the Cavs to 7 last year. He was the best player on that Magic team. And then this season, did they take the Celtics to I think it was only 5. But so I'm thinking they're going playoff experience. He's got the all-star game. He's had that big game in the playoffs where he had 40. He's a year younger. I don't know if that matters, but like that's all I can think because I actually personally
Playing
think
on a
Cade's
team full of aliens. Literally everybody on that team is 7 foot, including all the dudes coming from Michigan. It's like 3 Michigan dudes that are like 7 foot on that team, and it's like, what's the point? It's like if you're gonna make a statement, Paolo Banchero is not the one leading that team in everything that they do. Exactly. It's like, yeah, because last year, like he said, ESPN rated Cade 67. Him going from that, and he's still under Paolo Banchero, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, I could see where you're coming from, Jack, especially when it comes to that playoff performance. I love it. But at the same time, I feel like with Cade has really led the way for this entire season in the playoffs, and how he's going to do next year. He could be an MVP candidate next year, for all I know. And if we had Boston, we would have took them to 7 games and won. That's for me. Because
That's actually
Boston
a
was
good
not
point.
doing good at all. Like,
That's
if
a great
anything,
point.
yeah. If anything, I feel like we could have went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year if we didn't have the Knicks, and we still took them to 6 games. So even still, I want to say that Cade Cunningham should be the MVP candidate next year at least, but he shouldn't be under Paolo Banchero in any world, in my.
no, it's not. It's
Tom.
not a knock on Paolo, but I just view Cade that high. Like he's really good. Like Cade's I'm not just being a biased fan, but as a basketball fan, even if Cade was playing for a different team, I would have been a huge fan of this because his game is so good. Like, anyways, Cade is so good. And the thing about Paulo, like, I kind of there's one thing that I don't like about Paulo Banquero's game, which is like he likes to dribble a lot and take really tough middle shots. Like, that kinds of middle shot, mid shot from the mid range is kind of good to look at from as a fan. Like it's fancy and all that stuff, but it's the least efficient shot you can take out there. And he has the biggest build. He's really good. He can take threes. He can like drive. So it's one thing as a basketball fan I don't like about his game. Like I wish he would like kind of tone that down a little. So why am I
Yeah.
giving basketball advice to NBA players?
Tom, we've seen your tape, Tom. You can give
Exactly.
advice.
Tom for Korean MVP. Like, what are you talking about, man?
But
yeah,
and I can see Doug McMiniman. I can see your question about the free agency. We're going to get to that next, but we've got a couple of like Sean says this time last year, ESPN had Cade at 67. Derek Lively was 56. Exactly, Sean. And then our guy Austin, will Cade be in the top 15 in the top 100 this year? I assume this is for ESPN's ranking. It's going to be interesting because I think Devon makes a good point here as well. Cade still has to prove it to the masses. We know Cade has been nice since his rookie year. ESPN isn't full of fans, people who just work there. I think Cade kind of has proven it, but I'm with Devon here. He's still probably, unfortunately, which fair or not, is going to have to prove that he can do it for multiple seasons. And like, just so you guys know, I think Cade should be above Paulo. Like, Cade finished 7th in MVP. Like, he made all NBA. He should have been second all NBA, but he still made third team. And Paulo hasn't done that. So to me, Cade's one season when he had an actual team around him is far superior to whatever Paulo's done in those two. But I do understand for Paulo, he's been, like Devon says here, in front of the masses for 2 years of like the Magic being one of like, the Magic have been like, a lot of ESPN analysts kind of like favorite team in a way, like up and coming team in terms of like Franz and Paulo, Suggs, like they get discussed a lot, even though they had injuries last year. So they've been in front of the masses a lot more. So I'm not surprised to see Cade below Paulo, but I think Cade's season last year was far better than whatever Paulo's done.
Right.
Even if I'm incredibly biased, like he was 7th in MVP. Like that's pretty crazy.
That in itself.
Like, yeah, like he's not just because you can make an all-star team and be like the 20th, 21st best player in the league. Like, and no shade to that, but it's like Cade, see, I see you pointing at that jersey, Tom. Like Cade was 7th in MVP, and that's a pretty good direction to show how good you were. But any other thoughts? Like we've gone at Paulo a bit here, and I think that's valid, but I saw Tom, you had him 2nd in the East. So I assume Giannis is number 1 for you?
Yep. I really believe that Cade over Mitchell, or who's the other guy? Yeah. I really believe he's the second best player.
Brunson.
Oh, come on, man. That conversation was over. Like, so for me, Cade is second. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince.
I got Cade at 3rd. Who was second?
Mitchell.
Brunson.
Brunson, whatever.
Donovan Mitchell. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham is better to me. But Donovan Mitchell, I still think Cade is better than Donovan Mitchell too. I feel like this year Cade could be number 2. Just that I go with Tom. But if anything, I just need to get Paolo Banchero out the way. Cade is way better than him. But at the same time, I do think Giannis is the best. He's a finals MVP. I really wish we could have picked him up in the offseason, but I get it. But I do think Cade, with this team around him where he could actually build on, I think he should definitely be in MVP voting.
So I'm going to flip it. I think Cade's 3rd, and I would put him above Mitchell. I must admit, going to those playoff games, watching Brunson, the way he would just kill us every time down the stretch. I just had, and like that shot he hit game 6, like
against Ausar.
As much as I was hating on Brunson that whole series, getting on his case for the flopping, but when he hit that shot, I was just like, you know what? I got to stop being a hater. I don't love the way he plays, but I've just got to put him above Cade because he did it in the playoffs and he's been doing it in the playoffs like 3 years. But I think a lot of people will say we're being biased with having Cade over Mitchell, but I don't know. Mitchell's playoff record, he had some crazy games in the bubble. He has had big playoff games, but the way they crashed out in the playoffs last year,
And
I
then
guess
they
it
have
was
such a
against
great
the
team.
Pacers.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, Cade
If you
is better
put
than Donovan Mitchell.
if you put Donovan Mitchell on the Pistons team instead of Cade like last season, I don't think he replicates or does better than Cade last season. Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cade has that ability to make his people around him so much better. So I think that's really
Right.
Yeah.
the biggest part of his game. Yeah.
Like Donovan Mitchell is
Absolutely.
nowhere near as a leader to Cade.
100%.
The
Cade's,
leadership, I don't know, but Cade's like I think he really is a better player than, especially also defensively, like
Yeah.
defensively, offensively, like everything. Like Cade's gonna prove he's gonna be the second best player in the East next season. Like
Thank you,
unless-
Maddie.
barring
I love it.
injuries.
Appreciate you, Maddie, my brother. I'm still laughing at the Dunkyard Dog. That nickname's gonna stick. We're gonna make that stick for Duncan Robinson, but obviously we agree with you, my friend. Got Cade over Parlo. Appreciate the super chat as well. We had a question here. I think that'll do it for the Cade ranking. I'm just checking if there's any other comments. But I wanted to quickly get to where's Doug's comment? Question for Jack and the fellas. What do you think about Chris Boucher from Toronto? I assume if this signing happened, he would be kind of a backup for like a small ball 5. Any thoughts on him? I have some, but I want to let you guys go first.
I low-key don't have anything to say about Chris Boucher.
That's
I
fine.
mean, I guess he would be pretty okay with our team, but to me, I just feel like our team right now is in the place that it needs to be. I feel like we don't really need to pick anybody up that's not a stretch big.
Well, he can
Yeah.
kind of shoot at Prince,
Yeah.
but he's got like it's a weird jumper, so I'm not sure.
He has that
But-
ball
sorry, Tom.
jumper package. Like
Yes, it's like this
Yeah.
weird. I can't see it on
The-
here. I'm not
the
going to try and do
long-
it, but
the long,
Yeah.
lanky, like set shot. Like he has that shot, and he's actually a pretty good shooter. And I would like
Yeah.
if he would like come on a minimum, obviously, but I don't think it's what the Pistons are gonna do. Because if they were planning on doing that, they would have done so by now. Because they've been free agent for
Yeah,
a long time. So
Exactly.
I think the Pistons are gonna at least go right now with the 13-man roster, and before the season starts, they're gonna get one more player, and that one player maybe they call up like Dennis Jenkins. Wait, do we consider Dennis Jenkins in the 13? Do we?
no, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
See, also Dennis or Tolu. I don't think we're gonna sign a backup 4 at this point. I would like if they did. Like I really like Boucher as a backup 4, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that as well because I believe there is some date in August you have to have 14 players on your roster. I'd need to research this more. I was going to do it for an upcoming video, but I remember hearing in a podcast at some point you have to have 14 players on your roster. There's a date, I believe, in August. So I think what they'll do though is they'll just upgrade Danis or Tolu to like a standard deal. It would be Danis if they did this, and then just
Right.
sign another two-way player. Because it's just, I do think to get Boucher, you'd probably have to use the biannual exception, which not to get too nerdy with the cap, but it's $5.1 million and you can use it every 2 years, hence the name biannual, if you're over the cap. So I think they would use that to sign Boucher. But like you said, Tom, it's just been going on for so long that it's almost like they could have had Boucher or Precious, Achua, or who's the Trey Lyles even. So I would like them to sign Boucher. I think that would be fun. I think he's actually a pretty good rim protector as well. Not the best rebounder or that kind of thing, but he does have some pretty good skills as a rim protector and 3-point shooter that I think could fit nicely.
I think Trajan has faith on the roster, on Ron and maybe Stu to provide the backup 4 minutes. Is that with the thing stand? Because especially in Ron, I think so. I would I'm so excited to watch how Ron plays in that role. That Simone Fontecchio minute he's gonna absorb that. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he can like hold up against the fours of the league. Like for example, like the because a lot of the best players in the league are fours. Like as you mentioned,
Right.
Yeah.
Paulo, Giannis, Jason Tatum, whatever. Those forwards are really the really hard to guard. That's why it's so hard to become good forward because you have to guard those players. So I really want to see if Ron can prove to be a very good defensive stopper for us for in that end.
Yeah. And I guess another good point with the backup four is like Ron to go from like, I want to say he averaged 15 to 18 minutes last season. If he's going to start playing 23, 24 minutes, I don't think he's going to get those minutes from the 1 to 3 position. So it's probably going to come from the backup four for him to get more minutes. So maybe that's been the vision, probably has been the vision all along. And that's why, whilst a lot of fans are worried about the backup four, maybe Trace was just like, this is the spot for Ron to get 20, 23 minutes a game or more. It's going to come from backing up Tobias. And Prince, I wanted to shout out, is this your dad? It's crazy to be the dad of the biggest Pistons fan Detroit made, Prince. He has the best takes. Shout out to you, Ryan.
Man, shout out to Dad. He's the best dad ever. He made me become a Pistons fan, and I wouldn't be here without him. So thank you, Dad.
We love it. Well, I hope to run into you and your dad at a Pistons game this season. That'd be super cool.
Hopefully.
But shout out to you, Ryan. All right. I think we covered that one very well. Let's move on here. So, Zach Lowe, who's now with The Ringer, used to be with ESPN, had a segment on his podcast earlier this week talking about the most intriguing players in the entire NBA, not just the Eastern Conference, but the entire NBA. And this is what Zach said. He said, my single most intriguing player is Ausar Thompson. My number one reason for Detroit optimism this season is I just think Ausar Thompson has a chance to be really, really good and really, really good sooner than people think. My question to you was just your thoughts, firstly, on how impactful Ausar can be this season. And then secondly, we'll talk about who else is your most intriguing player on the roster, someone aside from Ausar. But Prince, what are your thoughts on Ausar for the upcoming season?
I feel like just Ausar will be one of the best defensive players in the league without a doubt for me. And I feel like he's gonna take like old boy was saying, he was getting bigger during the offseason. And I feel like he's gonna want that revenge for Jalen Brunson. And I feel like Ausar Thompson's gonna be great. He's gonna be really, really great. And I'm glad that he said that. And for me, I don't think there's any more intriguing player than Ausar Thompson other than Cade. Like I feel like Ausar Thompson is going to probably hit one of the best peaks, especially for a third year. What's the name? A third year defensive player. I feel like he's going to be great. He's going to be great.
I love it. And
Yeah.
Doug said as well, sorry, Tom, Ausar really nailed it in the Steve Nash commercial. Prince, any thoughts on this? Because I know you love this kind of stuff.
I have not seen
It
that
was like
Steve Nash
it
I
was
have
like
not seen
2
that.
seconds.
I don't think I've seen it.
You should
It's
watch it.
literally like,
It's a great watch. You cannot blink or you're gonna miss it.
yeah.
Well, this past week I've been with my dad at the University of South Carolina, and
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun this week. I just came back this morning, and I've just been really focused on that. I haven't been really seeing a lot of Piston stuff, so I'm really sorry, guys. I haven't seen it, but I will watch it as soon as we get
Okay.
off.
No, that's chill, man. That's chill. It's like 2 seconds. It's funny though. And Tom, over to you.
Yeah. With Asar, like the moment the Pistons season actually had to turn around last season was when Asar really came back. And I think Asar is the one player, maybe outside of Cade, that I cannot put a ceiling on. Like he's his potential is like one of the craziest in the league. And so if he just gets a full of season of like being healthy like this season, I think he's gonna be a monster. Like you can see what a man does for the Houston Rockets. He can do so much more for the like same and so much more for the Pistons. Like you remember that spin move he had in the playoffs? Like what's that in the playoffs? Like
Game 1 is
yeah,
ridiculous.
that
It
was
looked
he has
Didn't look
those
real.
plays where you question your eyes, like the fadeaway dunk and those defensive sequences on SG and everything. Like Asar's crazy, and I love him, and I really think he's gonna surprise a lot of people next season.
He's going to be like ACG says here, a star. But I think a star like is the guy. Like when I was on Locked On Pistons this week talking with Koo, and we are talking about the most intriguing players, and like
Who's the biggest fan of Ausar, right?
yeah, yeah, he is a massive fan. But I was like talking about, because I did a video probably a couple of weeks now, just talking about Ausar and Jalen Duren specifically. But like, you just look at how Ausar, him coming back coincided with JD's best stretch of the season. Like when Ausar came back and was actually in the rotation from like January onwards, was easily like it turned around Jalen Duren's whole season. And not to take credit away from JD, but it helps having Ausar out there, how good defensively he is to make JD's life easier and allow JD to focus on what he's good at. But Ausar, when you just look at the numbers, like he's like impact, even when he has like a game where he might turn the ball over a little bit, or, you know, missing free throws or missing like not scoring essentially, like he still has like this crazy impact because of his defense and what he can do in transition. And like the Pistons, I think a national writer got a bit of heat recently because he said the Pistons don't play fast, but like Ausar's a big reason. Yeah, I must admit, Brett's reporting's actually been pretty good this summer. But
he actually apologized for that.
Yeah, but like a big reason the Pistons do play fast and are so good in transition is because Ausar would either generate steals or he's the guy on the end of a Cade lob. Like, so I just think he's so crucial to the Pistons' success that even if he doesn't take this monumental leap offensively, if he just improves and is able to play 75 games at 28, 32 minutes, like this team is going to be really, really good for that. So
I also wanted to give a shout out to OTE. So as you guys know, I live in Atlanta. So one big thing in Atlanta is overtime elite. And I did want to say Ausar and Amen coming from OTE. I definitely want to see some more players in the NBA from OTE. They're all great and they all have such huge talent. And I can't wait to see them in the future.
I think that's a great shout out because I think I'll just speak for myself, like when people were like trying to figure out where Ausar and Amen should go in the draft, I think they OT got discredited because of the competition level. But like, I mean, good to shout them out, Prince, because these two guys, like, I mean, I think the top 5 of that 2023 draft was Wembanyama, who that's not changing. 2 was Scoot Henderson. 3 was Brandon Miller. Then it goes Amen and Ausar. Like, I think Amen now is going number 2, and I think you're definitely taking Ausar ahead of Scoot. So, like, yeah,
it's a conversation between Brandon Miller and Ausar for 3, and I'm being biased on take Ausar, but like there are 3 players.
Shocker.
Yeah, there are 3 players who actually like make me question like my brain. It's like Wemby, like he does those things like where he breaks your brain, and it's Amen and Ausar. Like they're such a joy to watch. I actually watch Amen highlights on YouTube because he has so much more highlights because of the playing time. So they're just crazy to watch. I love them.
And the
this is a great point from Absolutely. No, this is a great point from Joe. Now we're at the point where people are using Amen and Ausar as like a benchmark. I saw some Spurs fans being like, Carter Bryant is a Thompson twin with a jumper. Like, let's relax.
Come on.
It's a good point.
Thompson twin with a jumper is Michael. Like, that's the greatest player of all time. That's
Carter Bryant shot like 29% from the field at Summer League. Like, let's relax.
A Thompson twin with a jumper, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's literally LeBron, like 2008 LeBron on the Cavs. But the other part of this segment I just want to get your quick thoughts on is who else is your most intriguing player? Like if you had to pick any other player on the Pistons roster that's just like you're really interested to see this season, who would it be?
Aside from, can I include Jaden Ivey? Like
anyone but Ausar.
Oh, it's Jaden. Like It's obviously like, I mean, I'm so excited to watch Lavert, Duncan, and how they fit with our team. But obviously, I want to watch Jaden like with a full, with him healthy. With Ausar, I believe they didn't play much games together last season. Like it didn't overlap. When Ausar came back, Jaden almost got immediately injured. So, um, watching them, our core members on the league of the team with Jaden healthy. I really want to watch Jaden hoop, man. Like I know you're with me, Jack. I keep watching Jaden Ivey highlights on YouTube. I probably watched it like
Yeah.
twice or three times last week. I miss him. I miss Jaden Ivey basketball. Like
Yes.
and I saw how Prince posted like his Purdue highlights or something. I think on your story or
Yes.
something. Yeah, I just love Jaden Ivey. Like it's
Yes.
crazy.
I also wanted to say, I'm so intrigued for Ron Holland and how he represents Detroit basketball to the fullest. I can't wait for that. Like, I can't wait to see all the fights. I can't wait to see everybody being like huge and big and just.
Fights.
And I know that that's crazy coming from me, but I just love the mentality of Detroit basketball and how we play so physical, even if we're trying to win. It's like I love to see that. I love to see that. So I'm so intrigued to see Ron Holland. Like you said, I'm so excited to see Jaden Ivey, but I feel like for me, Ron is just going to be something different next year.
You know, speaking
I
speaking about
agree.
Ron, the rivalry between the Pistons and the Knicks got more interesting because they got Jordan Clarkson, right? So you
Oh,
know
it's a great point. Yeah,
it's gonna be
they're
funny
throwing
if they face
hands.
each other next season. Yeah, and I believe
And
like Ron had a thing with Duncan, right? Duncan Robinson, and they actually talked about that
yeah,
fight they had. It was actually hilarious.
yeah, that was so good. No, I think that was from like a very early game in the season, or maybe it was the
Yeah.
game where Cade hit the game winner. But yeah, that was funny. But Devin here's definitely Jaden Ivey's his most interesting. We also have some love for Doug says Ron and Ivy, Sports Time, JI, ACG. A lot of love for Ivy here is the most intriguing. I think for me, and I said this on the podcast with Koo, I think mine is obviously you guys have raised great names. Mine's almost Jalen Duren. Like, can he continue to be that player we saw in like the second half of the season, but also in the playoffs? Like, I know Cat's like the worst matchup for JD. So Cat did win that matchup, but I thought like JD still was like showed improvement throughout the playoffs. I think his free throw shooting, his rebounding. I was even Tom, like you said, I was watching. I think every week I watched the game 2 and game 5 highlights, and in both those games, like JD's like rim protection stood out to me, and I just think it's crucial for Cade to have a lob threat like
Right.
JD
Right.
as the starting center. Like as much as I love Stu, like I think for Cade to thrive at his best, he needs someone like JD rolling to the rim, and I think the passing.
100%,
So just
yes.
that's why I'm really intrigued about Durham. But I must admit, like Ivy, I can't wait to see as well, and Ron, like all of them, all those young guys, to be honest. But just to mix it up, I'll go JD. But I think you guys have covered it really well too. Doug says, Prince, are the Hawks a real threat?
Of course
Do you
not.
like keep up with the Hawks?
Well, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually tried to get a job with the Hawks on what's the
Whoa.
name, their media team. Yes, I did. Of course, I
You're
didn't get the job.
14.
I'm 14 years old. They said, yeah, I gotta
I
wait
love
until I'm
it.
16. But I did try to get a job with the Hawks, and I feel like are the Hawks a real threat? Of course not. We're gonna beat the Hawks every single time next year. To me, and I feel like the Hawks are actually pretty bad with Kristaps Porzingis. I feel like they can keep up. But for me, no. Like I keep up with the Grizzlies more than the Hawks, and I hate them. So I feel like the Hawks, no. I don't think we're gonna have any trouble against them. I feel like I'm gonna go to all the games that are in Atlanta, but same thing with the Memphis ones. But I feel like for me, no, the Hawks are not a threat. We're gonna blow them out each and every game, and I'm gonna be there to see it. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram. Y'all can
Yeah,
go
we're
follow
gonna.
me at Detroit Made Prince. You already know what it is. Hawks is no, no. So yeah, no.
So, you know what, Prince? I'm not going to go as far as you, but I do think that the Hawks did have a good off season. But
Right.
it annoys me a little bit that people are just penciling in them ahead of the Pistons, to be honest, because I know they're getting Jalen Johnson back, and I know Kristaps is in theory like a great addition, but he doesn't play. So I just think it's a bit premature to put them ahead of the Pistons because I think we are still a better team. Even if they had the better offseason, I think we're the better team. I do think the Hawks, though, are back to the question. I do think they are a threat, Doug, but I do get a bit annoyed that I see people just like penciling the Pistons in at 6th in the East because the Hawks are going to jump them.
No,
I think the Magic I can understand, but yeah.
But like as a matchup wise, I think the Hawks do have an advantage against us, especially because we really struggle against stretch bigs, teams with stretch bigs. Those were our kryptonites last season. Same with Cat,
Yep.
those teams who have a shooting big as their starting center. So I think as a matchup, if we were gonna face them in the playoffs, I would rather face the Magic than the Hawks. I don't know. Like Hawks have that
Really?
Trey Young star factor, and if it with a healthy Jalen Johnson and Kristaps Porzingis, all that, if they figure everything out, they're really gonna give us a hard time, especially from their offensive standpoint. But the Orlando Magic, we can just put like Ausar on Desmond Bain, and we
No,
can we
that's
can
fair.
we can run like big lineups against them. We can go like Cade. We can have Stu. We can have like we have there as a matchup wise. I think we match up really well against the Orlando Magic than the Hawks. So I think
Yeah, that's
as
fair.
a from a Piston standpoint, I would rather face the Orlando Magic.
yeah,
No, that's very fair.
I understand.
And ACG, I will get to your comment about Rondo and Cade soon, but sorry, Prince. This was for you. Doug says 14, you're very smart. You're ahead of most people, fans I listen to. Good job. I assume means that's good job, not goof job.
Goof job.
Thank you so
Assume
much,
it's a
Doug.
typo.
Yeah, I
I agree,
appreciate it.
Prince. I actually forget you're 14. It's kind of crazy.
I actually also wanted to tell you guys in 2 days I start my first day in high school. So I just wanted to
Oh
wow.
let
my
y'all know.
God.
That's crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
So does that mean summer holidays are over?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting pretty sad down here. No more
Yeah.
summer break, but if anything, I just I got into a business and marketing class and a journalism class because I know Pistons Jack was in journalism for some time. So I wanted to just see what I can do, get into some extracurriculars,
Go for it. Absolutely, bro.
No,
That's awesome.
shout out to Prince's girlfriend. Like it was her birthday or something yesterday, right?
No, today was
Was the anniversary?
National Girlfriend's Day, and big
Oh,
shout out to Madison. Big shout out to Madison. She's always supported me on the Pistons Jack streams. I love her so much.
Let's go. Oh, I think I saw someone in here. Hang on. Is this her?
Yes.
yeah.
Shout out to Madison. We love it. All right. Final segment here, and then we'll wrap up today's show. This has been really fun. ESPN graded the Detroit Pistons a C for their offseason. I'll just quickly go through it here for you. So the Pistons have added this offseason Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, re-signed Paul Reed and Colby Jones to a two-way. And then leaving the team is Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder. I think we'll just say for the argument here, Malik Beasley won't be on the team. And they also waived Ron Harper Jr. The other thing to note is they did get, this is real for the real cap nerds, but they do have a traded player exception, which is they normally don't get used, but it is technically some sort of asset that they've added. So I guess, Prince, I think you gave the Pistons a C-. I want to say in the chat.
I gave them a C. And I know a lot of Pistons fans might come for that, but I do think that the Pistons could have done a lot more in this offseason. I feel like we could have picked up a lot of more big role players, but I feel like the Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson was really all that came out that was good. I feel like we could have kept Dennis Schroeder. I feel like we probably would have had to give up either Duncan Robinson or Karis LeVert, but I do think Dennis Schroeder would be better than Karis LeVert to me. And I know it's kind of crazy, but I do think Dennis Schroeder would have been a better playoff performer and a better in-season performer because, if I'm not wrong, we only had him for about half the season and the playoffs. So feel like Dennis Schroeder would have been good. I'm glad that he has a great contract over in Sacramento. And yeah, I just feel like we could have done a lot better. But I do also want to note that our vice president of basketball operations, he did say that he wasn't going to make any big plays or big trades or big anything. So I respect that. And I just hope that with this team, we can get even better than the last year's team.
No, that's very well said. And I
Yeah.
think one thing I'll just note before we go to you, Tom, is in watching those playoff highlights, Dennis Schroeder, especially in game 2, hit a lot of big time shots. And I'm sure we can replace that. But like, whilst I probably wouldn't have brought him back I think the Kings just offered too much money for what Detroit could even do if they wanted to bring him back. But like, at the same time, like Dennis Schroeder was like really good for the Pistons. So I understand like people who were like, it's a downgrade to lose him. But yeah, he hit some huge shots in the playoffs. Massive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Tom.
Okay. I gave them a B+ because I think considering the circumstances with Malik, the team finding out a day before free agency that Malik had that gambling issue going. Considering circumstances, we did sign Duncan to a great deal, 3 years, but 2 second year and third year non-guaranteed. We got LeVert. I think, and the biggest addition we're gonna have is Jaden Ivey coming back healthy, and if you really think about it, the Pistons this year is about evaluating what's wrong with my English, evaluating talent. So especially with the extensions coming for Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey, so the team has to figure out what's gonna happen with those two. The team has to see if they're really gonna invest like 30 million a year to either one of them or both of them. So this is not the year we're gonna make the big move. And I think Doug did say it right. The Pistons were intentional in keeping the options open because next year is gonna be the year where they decide if they're gonna extend someone, if they're gonna make a trade, if he's not the one for us. Like I think next offseason's the year we're gonna get our Siakam, our whatever.
Yeah.
Like yeah, so next year is gonna be that year. This year, it's all about internal improvement, and I'm all for it. I agree with Trajan on this strategy this year.
Yeah, no. And Tom, please never put down your English. It's your second language and you speak English better than me. So like sometimes I pronounce and spell words completely wrong. So never speak badly of your English. And appreciate you, Doug. Well, it's been a fun show. Appreciate you tuning in and all your comments, my friend. But no, I gave it a B-. I think is where I'm at. Just because I think of like having to pivot, like you mentioned at last minute. I wanted them to bring back Beasley, and I would have been fine with the deal that the Pistons were offering. Obviously, that didn't happen, and I actually am sneakily excited for Duncan Robinson. I'm probably more excited about Robinson than I am LeVert, but I think Karras is just like a solid player. I'll probably do a video on this early next week, just diving into his comments in his press conference a couple of days ago. But he spoke about how JB like really changed him as a player to help him on the defensive end. So I think like Karras LeVert with JB Bickerstaff is like a better player than Karras LeVert with any other coach. And so I think this could be also a sneaky good pickup as well. I think ultimately, like I loved what Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik brought. Like I don't think we're going to be able to replace the shooting they bring as a duo, but I think Robinson and LeVert as a duo shoot it pretty well together. Like Duncan's obviously elite,
right,
but they give you much more creation off the dribble. Like Duncan's actually sneakily like a pretty good passer,
right,
and a guy that like he's not just a standstill shooter. Like he can do more than that. Has a nice floater, and I think you get more playmaking with them, more like just shot creation, and they're just taller. Like Duncan's 6'8", I think, and I think Karras is 6'5", 6'6". Like I think Malik and Tim are like 6'3" and 6'4", maybe. So you just get a bit more size defensively. Not that Duncan is great, but I think a B-. And I think there's still an open roster spot at least 1 or 2 they'll have to fill. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, anyone who says a C as well is so fine. I think people that are going like D plus, C minus, I think that's a little harsh because, like you said, Prince, Trajan has said the whole time, like they're banking on internal development. And I think that's the right thing for this season because unfortunately, it's kind of been the story of the last 3 seasons. Like we just have never got to see this young core play together. Someone's always injured for 2/3 of the year. It was Ivy, it was Ausar, then it was Cade back in 2022. So, and then Tom, I think you're very right. And I think it was Doug who brought it up. Like next off season, or maybe as soon as this trade deadline is where I think that upgrade comes, or that Siakam type trade. But I just want to get to some comments here and then we're going to wrap up. Devin was a B plus. Sean says a B. ESPN says C, then it will turn out to be an A. That's a good point, Sean.
Surely.
But I think that's going to do it for today's show, guys. Is there any before we wrap it up? Is there any other thoughts, any other life updates each of you've got you want to share?
Yeah. I have a list of things I want to say at the end, but I do want to say can't wait for high school. I'm kind of scared, but I'm very excited for how I can make my high school like debut. Definitely want to get into student government and stuff like that. And I can't wait to tell all my friends about Pistons Jack and how I'm on this podcast and
Love it.
yeah. I wanted to say thanks for all the kindness to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my dad, my mom, my uncle Marcos, Madison, and Sarah. I wanted to say Tobias for retirement, Tom for Korean MVP, give him the belt, together all the time together.
What a way to close it out. And Prince, so
That was great.
do you mean you have 4 years of high school and then you graduate? Is that
Right.
correct? Then you go to college. Bro, I think the things you just said that you're focusing on, like student government and stuff, I don't think you should have seen me when I was at high school. I was not talking the way you're talking. So you're gonna absolutely kill it, man. You're gonna
Thank you
kill
so
it.
much.
And Tom, what are we thinking?
I'm just excited for the Pistons schedule to come out mid to late August, probably around like August 20 or something. So I'm so excited.
It's in 3 weeks. It's in 3 weeks.
Right? Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
out.
So
yeah.
So around that date mark. So I'm so excited for that. If you get any spoilers from any team members, just let me know. DM Jack. So if I do get that schedule, I'm probably gonna plan my trip to Detroit and hope to see like everyone there. I have so many things I want to do in Detroit, so I'm so excited for that. And I have a question: like, who's cooking? Like, I keep hearing utensils. It's making me hungry. Is it Andy?
No one's cooking at my house unless maybe you've heard Andy making a drink or something. There's no way.
Yeah,
I
got me
got
hungry.
my headphones on, so I can't hear anything. But I'm. Oh, Tom, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you just got like you're a bit hungover. What's like your go-to meal?
For a hungover, like I usually have like I need some soup broth. Tom is high. I need some broth, so I usually go with like ramen, or I go like there's this. It's called champong. It's also like spicy noodles. I usually like some spicy broth soup to go with a lot of water. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go to the convenience store after this, buy some ramen, and yeah.
Tom, I also wanted to say, my girlfriend Madison, she's always wanted to go to South Korea. So,
yeah,
really,
she comes like, yeah, let me know. I'm gonna show everyone around. Let's go.
I definitely will.
Show you guys around to the best restaurants.
I want to
come.
Come on, Jack, I would love to come to South Korea. Yeah, I would love to go. No, I'm gonna try. I might try make a thing this year or definitely sometime soon. Yeah. I would love to. I'd love to. I've only really been to the US, so I'm excited to explore other places.
Jack, if you ever go to one of these Pistons games, just let me know. I'm gonna try to make a date so that me and Dad can go down to Detroit and meet you guys.
Well, Yeah, absolutely. No, I will. And maybe I might even try and go to a game in Atlanta. We'll see. Because Atlanta's not too far from Detroit and like the East Coast. It's on the East Coast.
It's about 8 hour drive, something like that.
Oh.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
Atlanta
it'd be like a 1 or 2 hour flight. Be so
Atlanta
true.
would love to have you.
I would love it. And I saw Devon, you said you're going to jump on next week. We'd love to have you on, brother. So thank you
Yes,
for being here in
sir.
the chat today.
Awesome.
Thank you to Joe. Man, it's been a fun show. Appreciate you, Tom and Prince. But that's going to do it, guys. We're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to Devon, everyone in the chat. Appreciate you all. And it's been fun. But until next week, as always, go Pistons.